CCTV Camera World is proud to provide support for products purchased from our website. If you purchased your product from another vendor, please contact the vendor you purchased from for further assistance.
When you have a PoE camera, you would usually use it as part of a PoE system where you have cameras, a cable, and an NVR. The Ethernet cable from the camera then connects into the back of the NVR. There are 4 PoE ports where you can connect one of the cameras to. And there, inside the NVR, there is a hard drive where footage and snapshots are stored. In addition to the PoE ports, there's always a LAN port that's for linking back to your network, so the recorder has access to the internet. So you can configure it and then also send snapshots from the recorder when you have any type of motion alert, which I'm going to show you in the next step on how to set up using the web interface of the recorder. Of course, you want to make sure you connect the NVR to an internet router on your network so you can follow the steps that come next. I'm going to show you how to set up email-based notifications with snapshots on your AvaEye NVR recorder by Avalonics. We carry AvaEye equipment here at CCTV Camera World. It's a great product where you can log into it without needing a plugin for most functions. So here I have it pulled up on the local network using its local IP address. I'm going to log into it using the admin username and password. Currently, I just have one camera connected to it, and you can see it live here. And now I'm going to show you how to enter all the relevant settings you need to in order to enable a motion-based event notifications, such as motion in this case. You can even do it for smart detection. The first thing is, of course, go into network and email and enter in your email credentials. I'm going to explain them briefly. So here you have the server authentication. You have to turn it on. Yours is most likely off when you enter your NVR. Put in the whole email address of your Gmail account that you're using. You could even use Outlook. We have a whole post about how to enable email notifications on the AvaEye systems. You just need to make sure that you use the full email address for Gmail or Outlook, whichever you're using, and then the password that you have for that account. With Gmail accounts, you have to use an app password that you have to create. We have a video on our blog that shows you how to do that at CCTV Camera World. So you can follow that video along to get into your Gmail account and then enable the relevant settings to get an app password. Then here is the SMTP server. This is a server at Gmail that allows you to connect to it to send email. That's what your NVR is going to be doing. The SMTP port, it's a secured port with SSL enabled. You have to make sure you check this and change the port number to 587 on yours. And then snapshot interval. You have to have this enabled. The settings are as such from 2 to 5 seconds, enabled to 2 seconds, and make sure you hit attach image. Otherwise, you're not going to get an image coming to you in your email. And then you've got a sender email address and the sender's address, which has to be the same as the username above. And the recipient, I like to keep it the same. If you try to send it to too many recipients, you might actually end up getting your email marked as spam by Gmail. Hit test to send a test email, and that will show you whether your status was a success or not. So now I'm going to go to my Gmail window to check for the test email, and it's inside my Gmail box, so that's good. And now I know my email is set up. The next thing I need to do is make sure a compatible camera is connected. The setup that I'm explaining in here works for the AvaEye series of cameras with AvaEye series of NVRs. Using third-party cameras will not give you the same result. So I need to first make sure I have a camera connected, which I do. As I showed you in the beginning, I had one camera connected, and I can see it here in live view. I go back into setup, make sure your time is correct. If you have to change the time on your NVR, make sure you do that. Now under encoding, this gives you video encoding settings. They're not really relevant for a snapshot. And the next thing after that is go to storage, recording schedule, make sure recording is enabled and you have events selected. And make sure this is on. And you can actually change what type of event you're recording or schedule your recording by using these buttons. Make sure event is highlighted for all boxes if you want email alerts going for all times. Snapshot recording, same thing. Usually you might find it in your interface like this. Click on event, and then select all the boxes and hit save. Make sure snapshot schedule is on. And then in the second setting, this just shows you some different settings for recording snapshots on the NVR from the camera. But in our case, we're just more interested in setting this setting here for the schedule. You have to have a working hard disk to get a snapshot schedule. If you don't have one, then your DVR is not going to send you a snapshot. Under alarm, you have motion. This is where you enable motion. Usually you're just going to have the camera appearing as so without any grid. You want to hit on draw area and then select the whole area that you want to cover and then hit finish drawing, hit save. This sets basically, it says operation succeeded, and it's set a grid where it's going to detect motion, and you can change sensitivity high to low depending on how you want to have it. And then under motion here, make sure it's on and make sure you have motion detection on. Ultra motion detection is different. It will use the whole area to detect human and vehicle forms or just human forms depending on the camera. So make sure you're just using motion detection for this. You can try and play around with ultra motion as well. Some NVRs offer NVR side analysis. Not every one of them does. Usually it's camera side analysis. All right, I'm going back to regular motion detection. This is pixel based. So if I were to turn that lamp on or off, it would actually give me motion. Arming, make sure all this is selected. By default it is. And under trigger actions, make sure you have recipient email here selected. Without having this selected and snapshot selected, you're not going to get a snapshot for this channel if motion occurs on that channel. You can actually, if you have multiple cameras, you can actually select multiple cameras and try to send screenshots for them as well. After that, there's just some other settings I just wanted to confirm that I have correct. Again, this is the email setting. That's really only the last one. And you should be all set up now to get email motion alerts. Now what I'm going to do is go under live view and pull up my camera and have my test subject come into the view and see if I get a motion alert. So now I'm going to pull up my email account and I got an email alert right here. It's 4:40 p.m. The motion just happened. So I'm going to go through those emails and as you can see, there is a screenshot with the motion event there. There you go. So it will sense motion and send you a screenshot at the same time. So you have evidence of that in your email account. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thanks for watching.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.